and step right up and buy this new invention. It turns on and off. What do you mean, what does it do? I just told you. It turns on and off. It's a tool. What's the matter? You don't like tools? Come on. Make an investment. This is very much like the inventory items of distinction that so many of you are so desperate to defend. We must defend and uphold truths, beliefs, convictions, values, morals, and dichotomy. No, you don't. I'm sure many of you have reasons, enriched narratives as to why these items must be upheld. But it's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors and shoe shuffling. These are all attachments of fear and desire that you don't want to let go of, because if you let go of them, you just might snap out of your delusion of illusion. And this simply won't do, because it's just so much more comfortable to hide in personalized complexity than to face the impersonal nothingness. You want it to be something. I know. It just has to be something. Something that reflects, gratifies, reciprocates, and inflates our importance. If there are no others and all there is self, then self loses its distinction. And that right there dispenses with dichotomy. For the primary distinction that gives rise to all subsequent dichotomy is that there's some self existing in the first place to make distinctions. In order for this idea of the self to be contrived and realized, the impersonal empty wholeness must separate itself from itself, and hence a seal of duality gets stamped onto non-duality. So now we have a yin-yang symbol floating in empty space. So then we are duality and non-duality, right? We are yin-yang in the empty space containing the yin-yang. We are separation and wholeness simultaneously. We are, stop. There is no we. There is no self and there are no others. You are not. You are not anything. You are no thing. In fact, you are not even a no thing. There's no you to be or not to be anything or nothing. There's no there, no, be, or are. There is and is not any is or is not. Oh, Sage, you are just being contradictory and engaging in meaningless concept juggling. Oh, that's what I'm doing, huh? More like, welcome to your existence. What? You thought your existence was something other than one big meaningless contradictory juggling of concepts? Oh, of course not. You're going to make sense of the insensible, grasp the ungraspable, import meaning on the meaningless, and find purpose in the purposeless. Oh, but Sage, your tone and the way you employ your rhetoric, you think we are too stupid to grasp and follow what you are saying. No, quite contraire. You are too smart and intelligent to grasp and follow what I am saying. And I don't think anything. I am the caretaker of a creature that thinks, but what this meta creature is trying to point you towards can be known directly detached from thinking. And don't get me wrong, you've done a hell of a job. You are an intelligent being that has learned a great deal. But are you ready to step outside of your being and unlearn? Do you believe in the truth? If so, what is the truth of beliefs? And what is the truth of truth? Do you really have beliefs? Or do you just believe that you have beliefs? Is there any truth to your belief that you have beliefs? Or do you just believe that it's true that you have beliefs? Do you deal in truths? Or do you just believe that you deal in truths? Is there any truth to your belief that you are dealing with truths that can be believed in? Or are you just believing that there is truth in your beliefs, that you are dealing with believable truth? These are the pressing questions that must be answered first before you start getting into beliefs and truths concerning specific inventory items. If you skip over these questions and just start wielding truth and belief, you inevitably wind up with convictions. In other words, you will be convicted. And yes, evidence is required to convict someone. But why let evidence convict you? What is evident is evident. It doesn't require an investment. If it is evident, then it is a relevant temporary aspect of functionality. You don't need to grasp onto it. Interact with it. Utilize it. But let it be. No attachment is necessary. Why? Because even evident, relevant, temporary aspects of functionality are just imagined distinctions with no substantiality. Is there really any truth in dream content? What purposes serve in forming beliefs on dream content? All it is a clinging attachment to empty, unsubstantial, transient, non-permanent, superficial aspects of contrived phenomenal inventory content. Let it go. But don't beliefs play a crucial role to the ego? Aren't beliefs the foundation on which one forms an identity to enable relation and association? Your ego doesn't need any help being propped up. You don't need to be catering to your ego's need for self-validation. Leave your ego alone. You're not going to get rid of it, but you also don't have to be providing it with a pedestal. The ego is not your identity, nor are any of the ego's relations and associations. You are the caretaker of an ego that doesn't exist. Don't mistakenly mistake yourself as the ego and stay in command of it. For a surefire way to lose command and falsely identify yourself as the ego is to start pacifying it and providing it with security blankets. But don't beliefs serve as a foundation that provides a framework to which new information and experiences are compared to? Don't convictions enable a stable mindset and some relief in the experience of a mysterious existence? A better question might be, why is there this need to find comfort and familiarity? And why do you feel compelled to pander to it? You are an explorer of mystery, and you can navigate experience more fluidly without establishing associations or rooting yourself in the familiar. This can only weaken you. You would be better served to find comfort in the unfamiliar. This would open you up to all experiences. Now comes the question, do we have to believe in the truth, that which is self-evident, simply because there are people who don't believe in the truth? We don't have to believe or disbelieve anything based on what other people believe and disbelieve. What is self-evident is not truth, because it is based on imagined distinctions. You are dealing with illusions, and even though an illusion may appear self-evident, it's pointless to believe in it, because there's no truth in it. Utilize temporary aspects of functionality. That's all there is to it. If you believe, then you are becoming attached to that which is not lasting. If you disbelieve, then you will miss out on utilizing that which is not lasting. And let's not forget that belief and truth are items that are only significant in conjunction with a mind. A mind that seeks comfort and stability in some kind of reliable narrative. But don't give it any quarter. To place beliefs in seemingly truthful appearances of an illusion is contrary to your training as an explorer of mystery. Another angle is that people don't use belief, but rather a belief is a decision already made. And since we all make decisions, our beliefs or disbeliefs are a result of decisions. This is kind of reaching. There are plenty of decisions that have nothing to do with beliefs. The fact that I may decide to have broccoli instead of rice has more to do with the mood and whim of a biology and psychology. But even in cases where this may apply, it often ends up becoming a disservice. The choice of any given behavior will not always bring about reliable effects. One man may be kind and generous and experiences kindness and generosity returned, so therefore believes kindness and generosity are a virtue. Another man may be kind and generous, but gets mistreated and taken advantage of, so therefore believes kindness and generosity are a weakness. Who's right and who's wrong? To form a belief based on results that can vary is prejudice. Other decisions that are predictable require no belief. If you decide to touch a hot stove, you're going to get burned. You don't have to believe it because you will know it directly. And whether or not you believe it or disbelieve it won't change the fact that if you touch a hot stove again, you're going to get burned again. And the fact that there are people who believe in the unproven or disbelieve in the proven gives you an indication of the functionality of beliefs. It's all just a bunch of excessive, burdensome baggage. I don't have to believe in gravity. I experience gravity, and therefore I can utilize it. But forming an attachment to gravity is just as silly as denying gravity. Another angle is that one is not necessarily entitled to a belief. A conscious mind simply has them. And that you need beliefs to find some grounding as an individual, to form a point of reference, to relate yourself from everything else. A conscious mind just doesn't have beliefs. You are not born with luggage. You acquire luggage. And you don't need beliefs to establish an identity. There is no identity in the first place. And your experience of an existence of an identity is no belief required to sustain it. How do you think creatures of instinct live? Does a bear have to believe anything to function? No. You can still utilize intelligence without beliefs, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah. So that's it on truth and beliefs. Hopefully. If you keep on defending it, then I'll just keep on picking it apart. Telling you. Don't get it twisted. If you got a weak stomach, you might as well unsubscribe right now. Because I'm coming after it all. Reality deconstructionist. Everything you hold dear and sacred is on the table.